Trickling down, chandeliers, extravagance all around. Hypnosis as you move in your gown. I'll give everything to have you here unannounced. See how that sounds like love for now. Enjoy the way it looks for the night. Cause bright lights define the light of my life. My footsteps move to the drum all night. That's why I got
sour. Gucci for the groupies, Prada when it's hotter. Fifth Ave shopper, got my dress game proper. But skip that, I got it.
Every day is breaking me down. I'm a hammer, I'm gonna break ground. So I know that the glory's coming any day, anyway. I'll make 'em say, tonight I'm living my life. Gonna let go.
What's up, everybody? It's DJ Rainbow, Power 105.1, Powers Industry. This is the home of new music and entertainment. It's my main man, Ahmed. He's gonna ask all the questions I don't want to answer. You know how I do. But I'm the nice guy. And our guest today is a beautiful, super talented model. Let me just say her name real quick. Gonzalez, aka Sweet Tea. How you doing? You're in the Big Apple? I heard you're from the Big Apple originally, though, right?
That is correct.
What part? Bronx. BX. You throw your X's up?
The boogie down.
She's from the Bronx, fellas. She throws the X's. That means it's official tissue.
So let's talk about the modeling. How did you become because you're like an Instagram sensation right now. You got like 1.2 million, 1.3 million followers. How were you able to get to that level?
Well, it started from one follower. No.
1 plus 1 is 2 plus 2.
And then what happened was I was always around a lot of people that were in the industry. Always hip hop, rap, R&B related. I worked in really big clubs as a bartender. And really big strip clubs as well, where you would see like a lot of famous artists. They rap about it in their songs. Like you would see Drake coming in and out of Tootsie's, which I worked there as a bar manager as well as a promotions manager. I met a lot of other artists like Rick Ross as well. And what ended up happening is they started asking me to be in their videos and represent them for their brands. And I had no modeling experience. And they just took me from one day to another. And then the next thing you know, it turns out everybody likes big ass and tits. So it's a win.
I think I figured it out already. Let me give you you said you were manager. So that means you're smart. That means you handle numbers. That means you know how to make numbers work. So you made your Instagram numbers work.
That's what I did.
I figured it out.
Nice.
Interview's over. Thanks for coming.
All right, well,
Well, okay, so that's how that worked. Let's talk about how you got all these publications. Like, I mean, I get you, you grew your thing, but how'd you get to them publications? Like, you've been in a lot of magazines. No, because you know what? Now, there's a lot of people with a lot of, bodies out there. They don't, they don't even get half of the stuff you're getting. So how were you able to secure those bags?
it was all about meeting people and being nice to them. Being Sweet Tea is, there's some of it that's related to like working behind the bar, but also related to just being real with people, being able to talk to people, and just being that person that like sometimes people just want to smile back. Right. And those people remembered me, thankfully. Right. And I remembered them, and every time someone was singing a music video, that person would tell the other person about my demeanor behind the scenes as well as on the scene professionally. And that voice continued to carry through, and more different openings became available for me. It also was a lot of like invested time in myself, and also telling myself from the beginning, even when I didn't have a profile, that I would never do anything for free. Right. And so when everyone knows that you take yourself and your business seriously, that voice also carries out. I did a lot of events, for the new models that don't know how to get your numbers up, do events. Don't be the girl that like sits back in the corner. Everybody loves a hype girl. So really everything started from me being a hype girl, and I became the hype girl at the parties, I became the hype girl behind the bar, I became the hype girl in the video shoot, I became the hype girl at magazine shoots, and I really got an opportunity to do a lot of different things. I'm a very open person as well. Part of Sweet Tea is the fact that I did a lot of erotic work as well. It wasn't always like fashion shoots that I do now. Now I'm going to be doing fitness shoots in the next coming months. It wasn't always gowns. I was down and I liked being able to do and exercise my erotic side. That meant, I shot for Hustler. That means that I've also shot, with toys for adults. I've shot for a lot of entertainment magazines in a very artistic, new type of way. And that brought me a lot of publicity, and it opened the doors later on as well, just because I was curious and I gave myself an opportunity.
Nice.
Let me ask you a question. You're starting to do music. Why?
It's something that I have a passion for since I was a lot younger, and I feel like I have a lot of things to say. And don't get me wrong, going into this music thing, it's not like I expected all the support that I am currently having. I wanted to do it because I wanted to step outside of my comfort zone, and I believe I have a lot of things that I want to talk about in regards to my experience as a model and how I attained everything that I did in a short period of time, as well as my views on a lot of political issues that are going on. And so I said, you know what, like I want to have fun with it. Like my first single is all about having fun. It also picks fun at a lot of scenarios that a lot of women in my industry do face in the song itself. So I wanted to get that out there. I want to get the perception of the Instagram model, like what's really behind all of that out. It's not just about like, oh, making money off of your ass and titties. It's all about like, you know, what you have to go through your society and how you use this as a platform to do something better for yourself later, because some girls don't have an opportunity or an education to do it that way. So they do it this way. But the end result is to be better. So that's why I decided to do music, because I want to get the message out, and being on magazine covers doesn't always cut it.
When did you get the music bug? Like, was it being in the studio with somebody like I could do that, or was it just being a fan of music?
I've been writing for a very long time. I've
Okay.
received several awards, as well as been publicized in a couple of different books for my poetry since I was in the 7th grade.
Oh, okay.
I also did English honors all the way through college. I have 2 bachelor's degrees. I always had a passion for literature and writing, and it's something that I just said, you know what better way to get your message out than music. Music is something that unifies people beyond like the regular spoken word, beyond even actions sometimes. So I just decided that it's just time to get to start it.
Beautiful. Very nice, very nice. Where do you see yourself like 5 years from now? Bigger in the music, bigger in the modeling, bigger in...
I think that with social media, you don't gotta choose. You get to advertise yourself in every avenue that you want to. So
just you being
yeah,
you.
I mean, I do have some more projects that I have coming up that I can't talk about. But you know, you're gonna see more of me acting.
I was gonna ask you, are you doing acting? I feel like that's the next
Yes,
creative thing.
more of my dancing professionally is also being exercised currently and in the future. So in 5 years from now, I see myself looking back and saying, you know what? I'm happy you took that step, and this is it.
2 quick questions. One is, did you always look this way?
I didn't. Actually, when I started, when I decided to become a bartender, I was 45 pounds heavier. And my ex at the time, who was my boyfriend, told me that I couldn't bartend, and much less at a strip club, and that I would never be a model. And I just said, okay, well, we'll see. And I went out, and I lost the 45 pounds, which was a result actually of, they found that I had cancer while I was pregnant with twins, which were his babies, when I was 5 months pregnant.
Oh, wow.
And, you know, you lost the babies, but that doesn't mean you lose the weight. So it's not like I went to Dr. Miami. It's not like I doctored myself up. Respect to the woman that put.
So this is all natural?
This is all natural. You know, this is all natural. Like you don't. You know.
So that's natural?
This is all natural. Like this shit,
This
like
look-
you
You didn't
can't.
buy that?
Yeah, I ain't buy that, man. You know, these cookies right here to come with all the crumbs, if you know what I'm saying. You know, like it doesn't come in a neat little package.
Okay.
You know what we call that in the hood when they do it? No disrespect to women. That do all that? Me and my boy, we call it Build-A-Bear bitches.
Wow, that's so funny because
Man, that's a Build-A-Bear bitches. They just build themselves up.
hey, and you know what? Like I've seen a lot of interviews with a lot of models that they're like, you know what? Yeah, you know, I went to a doctor. You know, Bernice Burgo said it. I went to a doctor and I fixed myself up, but I also like I have to work out and have to
You
keep
gotta
it.
maintain it.
And you have to maintain it, and you have to not be lazy in an industry that really tells you to be lazy and just take what you're given and live life. And the next thing you know, you're like back to 45 pounds again and not being able to do what you want to do.
Right.
So no, answer to your question is I didn't always have this body, which is why now in today's day, anyone that takes advantage of using my image, they got to pay for it. And
That's right.
I've had to work for it, and right now I'm going through a lawsuit right now with the club here.
I was going to ask you that. How do you legally protect your images? Because they're out there, and I know that the promoters put stuff on flyers and all this stuff, you know, and people just think they can do that with you guys, and that's not accurate. They need your permission, correct?
That is correct, and I'm so happy that you brought that out. I'm really, really happy that I get to talk about it in this interview, and I want every girl, whether you are just starting or whether you have been doing this for years, to know this. no one is allowed to use your image without your expressed written consent. And here in New York, there are statutes that protect your civil rights and your image, which means that if you did not physically write down and agree to someone using your name, your stage name, your likeness,
Right.
or your actual photos that you have rights to, if they use them for sale and make money off of it, they have violated your civil rights and they have violated you. And in this case, what ends up happening is, I do a lot of club hostings. People make money off of putting my name or putting my image on a flyer, on a poster, and whether they say I'm there or not. And what happened with this new club, which will remain nameless for now for the lawsuit
Don't
purposes.
give them no more life.
We ain't gonna give them any more life, is I was sitting at Cameo in Miami Beach where I normally bartend out in Miami, and I'm looking through my Instagram feed, and bam, on my Instagram feed there's a picture of me where literally the only thing is covered is my nipple, which is from a European magazine excerpt that I did 3 years ago. And this company took that image, and what they did was they put it on a flyer and advertised it for their gentleman's club. So now they're making it look like basically I'm one of their strippers.
And the chicks look as good as you.
And the chicks look as good as me, natural. And they're making money off of my image.
Right.
So for those ladies who want to know what can you do? Well, the first thing is if you own that image, if you own the rights to your image, which means that you didn't sign it off to anybody else, now you can call up an attorney and you can say, hey, someone is using my photograph. However, like I said in the beginning, you have to know that you're not going to do anything for free from the beginning. Because if not, it bites you in the butt in times like this. New York law states that you can only sue a company for the highest amount for a photo shoot, or a video shoot to get your money back from them once they've used your image illegally.
So you can only sue for the amount of money that it will cost to do a photo shoot?
The highest amount
That you can
that
say
you can prove.
that's what it costs to take
Which
that
means
shoot.
that you have to have electronic receipts or bank account statements or yada yada yada. So if you do work on the side and people pay you in cash or however you get your bag, that doesn't count.
Yeah.
And even for me in this certain case, there have been photo shoots that I have been paid $50,000 and $100,000 for. But not all of those are on the books.
Right.
I can only use the maximum amount that I can prove to sue this company.
Wow.
And that's exactly what I did. I retained my lawyer. You gotta get your coins up if you're gonna retain a lawyer. It costed me $3,000
That's how it is for retainer.
to retain my lawyer, which means that they say, okay, we're representing you. We're gonna let these people know that they violated your rights, and we're gonna let them know that we are gonna pursue them in court if they don't wanna settle out of it. And that's where we're at right now.
I have a question. Instagram images, who owns that? You or Instagram?
Instagram owns the right to reuse those images. When you sign on to Instagram, if Instagram itself decides to repost it or another person decides to repost it for whatever purpose, that's okay. Now, if someone takes that image, alters it, and makes money off of it for their business, that's when the legalities come to play.
So this strip club could have reposted your picture, said she's gonna be at my club, then it would be legal.
They could have reposted my picture, giving me credit, saying,
women are
look
gonna
at
look like
beautiful
this."
girl. We
Right.
have girls that look like this, and it would have been technically okay. However,
Because Instagram owns the picture.
correct. However,
I don't really like that part. I don't understand why Instagram owns the rights to your images.
well,
I
it's
don't
kind of like
understand.
Instagram owns the right to completely delete your accounts that you've
It's their
worked hard
platform,
for,
I guess,
right?
right?
Because it's their platform. It's supposed to be community based, and you're playing in the rules. It's kind of like when you live at home with your parents. Whether you like it or not,
You're under my roof.
You're under my roof. Pay, get out and pay your own bills. And Instagram does the same thing. Hey, you want to do your own thing, create your own app that billions of people are gonna go look at.
Makes sense.
And it's the same way.
Gotcha. I think that's really good information for models out there that need to know this. I'm sure a lot of people are clueless. I was clueless. So thank you for the information. We needed that. Another question. What nationality are you? You look very exotic, mixed, all type of pretties going on. So where does it come from?
Thank you. I'm Egyptian, half Egyptian,
Okay.
Dominican and Colombian, and I was blessed enough to be adopted at a toddler young age by a 100% white Puerto Rican family.
Wow.
So that's only you see it.
You said white Puerto Rican family. So like somebody was white and somebody was Puerto Rican, like mixed? Okay.
Correct. So
Okay.
the ancestry of my family goes way back to ancient times, I like to say,
Right.
when Puerto Rico brought in the gringos,
Right,
which
right,
is when
That's when they
the
did.
Americans decided to come in. And for those of you who don't know, they call them gringos because they wore green, and everybody wanted them to go. So every time they saw a soldier, they say, "Green, go! Green, go!" So
Wow.
that's how.
You just taught me something of my own culture.
That's where the whole gringo thing came from. And so yeah, so my adopted mother is very light skinned with green eyes and a natural redhead. And my adopted father is also, he has like a brown chestnut hair with hazel eyes and very fair skin. And then they got this little brown baby.
Wow. Anything you want to ask?
I think that we've kind of hit the points that I wanted, you know, where I think that was the focus. All the other things, how did you get started in what? You don't need to ask all that. You already become a real success, but I think that there was some important things about your music and about the legality of what it is, and I wish you well in this case, and
Thank you.
when it's over, we need to revisit this conversation and bring you back.
Oh, and we will. There's so many young girls that are getting taken advantage of. And honestly, the only thing that's happening now is new age social pimping, which is where someone tells you that they have information about making you more popular or making you successful or achieving your dreams through social media, and they require more of you than you really need to give. Social media is a platform for you to get yourself out there as much as you can and network to get yourself out even more. But I recently came into contact with a manager. He manages a model that has a little bit over 4 million followers. She's verified on Instagram. She's absolutely stunningly beautiful. She's a fitness model.
Right.
She's around all these celebrities. And I talked to her manager, and the manager was like, in order for me to manage you, what I need is 30% of everything that you make.
Shit.
And I said, all right, well, 30% of whatever job you get me. He's like, no, that's an agent. I'm a manager. That means that I make 30% of everything that you already make, and then for my ideas and for what I come up with and for hooking you up with the right people or networking, you got to pay that. And this girl and other ladies are giving up 30% of everything that they built
Right.
to this pimp
That
who is just sitting around and telling them that
their ideas.
that they can't be anything greater without him.
That's crazy.
And it's working.
That's crazy.
Well, I don't want you to say his name because I don't want you to get in trouble.
Yeah.
And you wind up on the other side of the court. But just tell the people how they can get in touch with you, Instagram-wise.
Of course. Well, on Instagram, I'm princess_THAIS Thais, or just type in Sweet Tea, SWEETCE. You can also find me on Snapchat under Sweet Tea Loves Ya and Twitter under Sweet Tea Loves You.
That's what's up.
Thank you.
out.
Thank you so much.
Hi.
Thank you.